And there we go. We're live. Hey, how's it going? Adventures of Lollygagging friends. We're playing Alien tonight, continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign. Got a slightly different look to the overlay because we did some changes. We updated the Foundry VTT table with some extra mods, so things look a little different. And we needed some more room. Chuck is already stressing himself out. I didn't even ask for rolls yet, but Chuck, why don't you go ahead and roll panic roll for me really quick? Just, I mean, it's on the table, so I feel like you got to play it where it lies.
I'm keeping it together, man. I'm doing good.
Okay, right on. There we go. That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, we're playing Alien, and we just started up last time a brand new crew. We're gonna go through, and everyone can introduce who they are, and plug their pluggables, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, then we'll get started. So go by the overlay, and Jeremy, you're up.
Oh no. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'll be playing ch02, Electric Boogaloo. He's an obnoxious little kid who tries to help and or annoy people. Kind of, I would say kind of 50-50 at this point.
Right on, right on. And you're still doing like it's still the kid archetype, right? Like that's
Yes.
Okay, right on. Right on. Do you have any so what's the talent that you picked, by the way? I was curious.
I don't think, did we get enough experience to get a talent yet? Oh, for the starting
The first one. The starting one took dodge, right?
I took dodge,
Okay.
yeah.
Right on. Cool.
That's just, for being an imbly-bimbly little bastard, that seemed like a good way to go.
Yeah. The other thing is that we've got these. We're doing this kind of cinematic style, so we've got these little hidden agendas as well that might be they'll be evolving over. Right now, they're mild and simple and all that kind of stuff, but it'll get worse and people will start killing each other in rapid succession. Starting with Matt, if you would like Matt to die first, remember hashtag kill Matt first is it's sweeping the nation, so make sure.
It is. It is. Thank you. You love me. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Sweeping two nations.
Sweeping the globe. Honestly, let's just be serious. Adam, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Adam, and I'm playing Rook, the captain of this whole ordeal, or an officer. He thinks he's in charge, but sometimes he finds out he's not in charge when science has its way. But still trying to figure out exactly all of Rook's mannerisms and everything, but we'll figure it out. And what I'd like to plug is growingperilous.com. Just if you want to check out what's going on with us, you can go to the website. And that's my bird, who I'm going to put to sleep right now. It's bedtime.
Oh my god. That's pretty.
Not that kind of sleep.
I was gonna say, like, that's like just for tweeting a little bit. Jeez, it's pretty intense.
It's past his bedtime. So
right on. Let's keep going, Melissa.
Melissa with Adventures in Lollygagging. I am playing Jocelyn Jaws Hilliard. She is the pilot. Brunette, brown eyes, tall, tattooed. Her signature item is a shark dashboard bobblehead.
Oh god, too old to twitch. You hear a sickening crunch off screen all of a sudden, and there's no more tweeting. Oh my god, what just happened?
How you make a chicken nugget?
It's I'll be careful. Matt might not like that anymore with his new character. No bird harm on this this show. Bottom row, we got Jen.
Hey everybody, I'm Jen. I have a Twitch channel called Pixel Brother where we do some, I was going to say role-playing games. No, we don't. We play video games with some of the Grim and Perilous crew.
And who are you playing?
Oh, Erica Bone Stewart. She is a scientist.
Right on. Did you have like a particular field that you would say Bones is more focused in? Because I know Chuck, you was like xenobiology or something, right? Yeah,
something like that.
Archaeology.
Okay, right on, perfect. And in the middle, bottom row, we got Matt.
We put Matt in the middle. All right, Jeremy does, or Jeff does, and Jeremy. Hello, I'm Matt. I am playing Sergeant Danny Hobart of the United Marine Corps. And I'm looking after this crew. I do declare I'm looking after the crew.
Yes. Every
They are
single
gonna make
line.
it off this rock in one piece if I have my way. You can also find me all over the place doing all sorts of things. Tomorrow I'm going to be over on Garblight Games doing a Deadlands one shot. Thursday, Chuck and Jeff are joining me on Red Scar Gaming or Red Scar Publishing. What is it? We're playing some Devil's Run, which is also Savage Worlds. And Sunday nights on the Free League channel doing Forbidden Lands.
Nice. And then finally, Chuck.
Oh, snap. I'm Chuck, Defenders of Kobold. Yeah, you can find me from there. I don't need to plug things. I'm great. You already know me. Next up is I'm playing Dr. Buckland, the one who's actually in charge here. In science. I'm doing science. Reckless, fun science. I'm just going to science the shit out of everything tonight.
It's definitely the way to go. Science the shit out of it. This is a science vessel, so it makes perfect sense.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive in. My notes are all screwy because some technical problems behind the scenes tonight, but we'll be fine. So let's get going. We're pretty early in, but basically we switched. We got a new crew. We're on the science vessel, the Saen, Saen, in honor of Big E's ferrets that he crushed to death with his bare hands before the ship exploded. But it's kind of a science vessel in the sense that like they go out into the universe and they explore various anomalous things and look for they look for extraterrestrial life, that kind of stuff. And so this crew that you see here has been tasked by Weyland-Yutani, because they are under Weyland-Yutani employ, to head out to a moon known as G987F. And this moon is surrounding a very large gas giant, among several other moons as well, because an advanced survey team that was just kind of doing scouting of that moon for mining purposes, and they were working up kind of a claim, because there's like a competing claim over the moon, discovered some kind of anomalous radiation signature that they wanted to explore a little bit further. And apparently there was like kind of surprising vegetation on the moon that they didn't expect to see. And so you all, being a more advanced science vessel than having more intelligent folks and having more equipment than others, decided you guys got sent out here to look into this a little bit further. One of the reasons you were sent out is basically because Bionational and Weyland-Yutani are kind of fighting over claims on this system, which is now being reviewed, that the kind of objection that Bionational put in. And so you're kind of trying to see whether or not this place is worth fighting over, is kind of the idea. And when we arrived last week, or last time around, everything seemed perfectly fine. There was nothing strange. It was just a kind of a walk in the park. Then you landed. You took these tiny little scooters, or little like golf carts, all over the place. You got to like the survey team's base camp, and discovered that they were not there. There was no sign of them. There was no sign of their scouting shuttle that they were using to sort of survey the moon itself. There were no notes left over, anything like that. And you found kind of something bizarre in one of the labs. You found a giant piece of licorice, this big old black root that was on a table and that was reacting to various stimuli, including like absorbing a tiny little rock or a piece of something. And then as Sergeant Hobart and Chet were exploring the barracks, do you guys remember what you found in the barracks, in the little like the bunks where they were sleeping? Do you remember it all?
It's like symbols drawn on the bottoms, a couple of the bunks.
Yeah.
Some pictures missing, I think. Some letters home.
Yeah, it looks like there was something kind of drawn specifically on like the under, because they're bunk beds, like on the bottom side of bunk beds or on the ceilings. Some sort of like spirally like image of some kind. And then Jaws and Bones were driving back to the ship when they saw something. Do either of you remember what you saw was? Melissa, your Jaws.
I know. You said Jaws and Bones, so I was waiting to see if Jen remembered.
Okay.
I was smart and stayed in the car.
That's true. Jaws, do you remember what you saw?
No, I don't.
Okay. Wow.
There's a
Oh
guy
yes, yeah,
kneeling.
yeah, the guy that was kneeling. That's right.
Melissa's had a bad couple of
We
runs the
went-
other day. The other day on Delta Green, I go to throw it to her to introduce herself, and I'm like, "And so, Melissa, who are you?" And she just looks at me and very seriously, and she says, "I'm Melissa." And like that was
You asked the question. You were
That
like,
was her-
Melissa,
she's just-
comma, who are you? And I said, well, I'm Melissa.
too many drugs.
Like you answered your own
Not
Too many
wrong.
drugs. Don't
Not
do drugs,
wrong.
kids.
Right. That's what I thought.
But yeah, you saw.
Yes. So we saw a person that was kneeling, took a wide berth, walked around, and realized that they weren't just kneeling; they were actually like
Rowing
were living and like
one
impaled by
with the
something.
branch.
Yeah, and not only that, but there was another vehicle that was there that kind of dropped that off and sped away, and it was right on the edge of this weird kind of root-like jungle. And that's what we'll go ahead and pick up. So the two of you, Bones, Jaws, you are right outside the edge of this jungle. All sorts of intertwining roots. You kind of vaguely hear things moving around inside. You can't really see too clearly. And then you have this person who is effectively on their knees being propped up with some kind of makeshift spear-like thing, like impaled into their abdomen. And they have a kind of a carving into their forehead. So what would you like to do?
So Bones, you said you stayed in the vehicle.
Oh, heck yes.
I'm gonna wildly gesticulate that you need to join me and take a look at this.
Oh, I'm taking pictures.
Closer.
You're going to have to ask me via radio. Not to metagame or anything. But you're going to have to ask me. And I tell you now.
Bones, you gotta come take a look at this. This is a dead body. There's like symbols carved in.
Symbols, you say?
Yes, indeed. You know symbols. Symbols are your thing. I think symbols are your thing.
Describe them to me. Are they spirals?
They're lines that form a pattern.
Lines that form a pattern. Is it like a code, you think?
I don't know. That's
I
why I
mean-
think you should come over here and take a look at it.
I guess I can come with my digital camera and take a picture of it.
That sounds fantastic.
But I'm not touching it.
I didn't say you needed to touch it. Just
I
take
learned from Mr.
pictures.
Buckland. You don't touch things.
Wow. I mean, if there's any poking or touching that's needed, I'll take care of it. How's that?
Fantastic.
All right. And what are the shapes that the lines are in on the forehead?
It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like there's like it's almost like circular. It looks pretty. It's a pretty crude. It looks like it wasn't something that injured them or anything. It was more just scarring. So but it's like a circular pattern on the forehead. So the two of you go ahead and roll observation tests, since you're here near the edge of this little jungly area filled with roots and such. Okay.
One success.
Okay. Both of you start to hear the sound of buzzing. It's
Do you hear that?
very loud.
I do. I'm gonna scan in all directions for a swarm or something.
It's coming from somewhere in the jungle, in the root area. You can just hear it. It's very loud. It sounds like insects are just starting to activate.
I'm not a huge fan of the busy buzzies.
No, I'm not actually either. How are you doing with those pictures?
I'm done. I'm ready to go. Do you have an EpiPen? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Oh, it's time to go then. We're out.
Back to our golf cart and back to the ship then.
Nice.
Are you going to radio anybody to tell them you found a dead body? Or are you going to take the body with you? Or are you just
We're
going
not
to just
taking it with
leave
us.
and go? Okay.
I'll leave it as is, but inform everyone else of our location.
Okay. So
It's right here. Boop.
you get on the horn, and the rest of them now know that there is a body somewhere. And when you look at your
We've
personal data things, you see a boop, and you have a general idea of where it is.
Hey,
Yes,
Josh.
right there.
Uh-huh.
Did you see any dog tags on
Oh, I wasn't looking. I don't know if you were. I was more looking at the.
Before we
Oh,
leave,
there's
I'll
something.
take a peek to see if there's any.
You're going back out there to take a peek? Don't
Just-
do it.
It'll just take me a second.
You heard the buzzing. You're gonna send her out there with the buzzing.
that? It
So
was
real
yes
quick,
or
do
no
I see
question.
any kind of
No, we didn't see any.
markings?
Well, we can find some later.
You don't see dog tags, no, but you do, because nothing's kind of hanging from the neck, but you do see like the clothes that they're wearing are these bluish coveralls, and there is a little patch that just says Steven.
All right.
And looking at the patch, you can tell that the patch is actually got the little logo of Bio National, and sort of embroidered on it as well. This isn't one of the survey team. This looks to be somebody from the Bio National party.
Okay. So while I'm running back then, so that we can get back to the ship, I will radio back
Okay.
that information. No dog tags, but somebody named Steven from Bio National.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
I suspect he didn't mean to be in that situation. That's for sure.
I
There
would
was a
agree with that.
growth.
I appreciate your added expertise, Bonds.
You're welcome. There was also a buzzing. A very loud buzzing coming from the forest area. It's no EpiPen, no go.
Is this on a
What?
channel that's open so all of us can hear it, or is it a direct line?
I mean,
That
they
would
said they're going
probably
to
be
let
up to
the
them.
others know. So
Party
Yeah,
wide.
so probably open.
yeah, so
Yeah.
all of you can hear
Oh,
this.
we got to go there.
I turn and I look at you because I'm standing in the same room with you. You know, I'm
body.
halfway inclined to agree with you.
I do not think that is a good idea, Captain. What is company protocol?
We're a science vessel. Our job is to do science, investigate alien life forms.
I asked the
Yeah.
captain.
Well, you know, as much as I know you've always liked to remind me of this, I've never been one much for protocol. But if you want to come with us, we'll all check it out together. We could use...
What sort of choice do I have?
None in this instance, because if we come across hostile life forms, it's your job to kill them.
I was not talking to you.
Oh,
I
Are
was
you
ta-
saying that you don't want to come with us to check this out?
I'm saying we follow protocols here, and we get back up in space. You get into the mother, and you find out and report what is going on here on this planet.
Well, why do you need a closer look? I've got pictures. I document everything.
You did not touch it, did you?
Why
Yeah,
would
I
I
mean, you
touch
gotta
it? I already
poke it.
learned my lesson.
Yeah, did you find any devices there? Like any sort of personal display apparatus or something like that?
There's no display.
Notepad.
Did we?
Oh, I thought you meant a mirror. I was like, well, why would he have a mirror?
You never said you really searched the body, so there's coveralls that have been kind of splayed open a little bit and torn from the makeshift spear that's kind of propping them up, and then there's this. And that's all you can really see. They have clothes on.
We'll have to look more closely at the pictures because Bones said that she was very thorough with all of the pictures that she took of the body. So we can blow those pictures up and look for anything else.
Yeah, we'll look for bulges. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
It's what I always do.
You don't see anything. I would say on the pictures. You would need to get into the body and strip it
Doctor-
down, all that kind of stuff if you really wanted to.
Dr. Buckland,
this.
say you didn't happen to bring any of your, like, I don't know, quarantining like bags and
I would presume I brought, a standard kit, field kit. Yeah. I've got, the basics of what we'll need.
So you're saying that no matter what, if we go out there and we find something, whether or not it looks normal or otherwise,
Yeah,
this isn't normal.
you'd
we
be
got to
able to
take
put,
samples.
you'd be able to put that in a sealed container.
You already have a sample. It's back at the lab.
As long as
the
it's
same
not,
thing.
as long as it's not obscenely large, then yes.
Jaws and Bones, are you still are you still just like lingering by the body, or are you driving
having
back?
this conversation while driving.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Why don't y'all drive over with us while we see if there's anything to recover on the body, and then we'll go up to space and we'll do what protocol requires.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Also mention that we did see a vehicle leaving the area as well.
Captain, do you want a high-speed pursuit?
I do not. I don't recall you saying that. What was that now?
Do you want a high-speed pursuit, sir?
No. I don't think that's necessary. I would like to be as discreet as possible, but, well, who knows how long we'll get that.
Okay, so all four of you heading over there, or just two of you? Okay, and then the Jaws and Bones are still returning to the ship. Okay.
So
all
at
right.
some point we'll pass each other and then we'll all carpool.
Okay.
Caravan.
No, you don't pass each other actually, because you were already on the way back. They're retracting. You're not going to pass each other.
Okay.
Okay, so the four of you start heading then in the direction of the boop on your PDATs, and Jaws and Bones, you return to the ship without issue. The four of you, when you approach, you see the body kind of propped up, like they described it. When you approach, though, you do notice that there seems to be something swarming around it. There's like insects and stuff swarming around it currently.
Around the body?
Around the body, on the body, yeah.
I don't know if I'm all that comfortable with this.
Well, we're in our suits. We'll be all right.
You are indeed.
Yeah. You ever had much time around, beekeepers and honey and all that?
Are you talking about swarming? You piss one off and then they all swarm?
Well, no, I mean, from what I know, swarming, they're usually pretty docile. But, no, I mean, you wear it in beekeeper's outfit and one's still bound to get in there.
That's true.
Protects you from all of them, but
these things are sealed, environmentally sealed. A little more, protective than cloth and Velcro.
Well,
listen, I say we approach with caution. This is a time where a life form that we don't know is hostile or not. We approach from a distance, observe, move closer, observe, inch our way forwards. And if we can, I would love to see if we can capture one of whatever those creatures are.
Let's not do that yet.
What's your alternative?
I'm wanting to find if there's any information.
What are you hoping to ascertain, Captain?
I'm hoping to see if we can gain any of their research so that we don't have to do it.
Whose research?
Well, they said someone did drop them off.
What if? Do you think our little buggy things are strong enough to pull the body behind us? What if we just hook them, rope them, and drag them behind us, and we could probably drive faster than the bugs, right?
And
then maybe we get luckier. One or two of the bugs stay on them.
But what's our end goal?
I don't know. It just sounds cool.
I'm gonna hold up my fist to fist pump you, Chicken Hawk.
Yes.
Boom.
Chicken.
As batshit crazy as that sounds, it sounds like it just might work.
I don't okay, we rope the body, we drag the body behind us, luring the bugs along the way. What do? Do we just drag the body onto the ship and lure the bugs unreleased onto the ship?
There's bound to be one or two that stay on the body.
No. Sorry, you got me excited there. Chet, but we should probably not do that.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
Or, I
Let's,
hate to say it, do you have a shotgun?
Do I? No, I don't have a shotgun. Do you
I
have
wasn't
a shotgun?
asking you. I was asking the sergeant here, or Chet. Chet probably does.
I do not. I have a. What do I have?
Like
A
a
smart
plasma?
gun? No, I don't know what I have.
Okay, well-
Can you say smart again? Did you just call it smut
Smart
gun?
gun
A
shoots
smut
smarties.
gun? It just shoots smut everywhere.
A smart gun. No, I have a pulse rifle.
Roll an observation test, Dr. Buckland.
Yeah.
Mister.
So just say Mr. Mr. Buckland. Do you want to push that?
I am going to push that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I forgot to click the thing. I want to push that again.
Oh, because you can do the thing with the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
2 successes. 2 stress. Everything's great.
So you can see that the bugs have really kind of begun to coat all of the exposed skin, and from what you can tell, they seem to be gnawing away at it in a fairly rapid pace.
Carnivorous. That's
We do not want that on our ship.
we do not want that roaming free on the ship. That would probably kill all of us. Here's a proposed thought. You shoot your gun, buy it, scare the swarm off. I'll run in, see if there's, perhaps something that couldn't get out, and I'll stick it in a jar real quick, and we'll take it on board the ship.
Dr. Buckland, I'm going to have to disagree with this.
Which part?
With the trying to contain one of these organisms and bring it back on the ship.
That's what we're here for. That's our job.
Well, no. The last I checked, you still couldn't access Mother. We need to gather any information that they may have gathered first. Trust me, if it requires it, we'll be collecting some of these bugs, but let's not get too hasty.
You act like we're never going to see another bug the entire time we're out here.
Well, I mean, who knows what their life cycle is? It might be like weeks or months or something. Like maybe they
Or-
From the sounds of it, their life cycle is eat people.
Well, my concern is if they're consuming this, they have a ready meal. If they're consuming it quickly, like it appears that they're doing, they're going to eat and they're going to leave. So I'm just worried about the easily being able to attain them in the future. But I will agree that maybe finding their research might be good first. Begrudgingly, I will agree with you.
Sergeant
Thank
Hobart,
you.
Yes.
you being a Marine man, you hear something in that jungle area. You hear this metallic clicking. It's fairly distant, but you can kind of hear it. It's got to probably be 50 to 100 paces or so, but you can hear it pretty clearly, and it starts fairly slow pulsing and then gets really rapid and then slows down and dissipates again.
I'm going to make everybody aware of it, and I'll say, get the hell back on that buggy. We're getting out of here. It's my job to keep you safe and get going. Let's get. We can come back. There's something out there.
All right. I agree with this.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to be clear, the body's being left. I just want to make sure. I don't know, there's some crazy
Body
plans
is-
being thrown out.
Body is being left. Yeah.
Fire
Okay.
weapon! I throw one in a jar. We run
Shoot
away.
the flies.
Honestly, A, I'm not flesh, and B, I'm really fast.
You want to do a cursory search and see if there's any sort of device or anything you can take off of that body. I'm more comfortable with you doing it than anyone else.
I'm good with that too. I am worried about that clicking noise that you're pointing out. Usually when things click like that, it's for 2 reasons. It's either a
Chet's
threat
already
that you're
running.
too close. Oh, he's already running. Or I was going to say a mating call, and I don't want to be at the other end of that mating call.
Okay, so walk me through what's happening right now. I have lost the plot here. What's going on?
Away.
As soon as the captain gave any indication he approved of it, Chet sprinted towards the thing as fast as he could.
Towards the body?
Towards the body.
Okay, you sprint over towards the body, and as you get there, your proximity, once you get within a couple of feet, seems to alert and anger these insects that begin swirling around. And what are you doing when you get to the body?
Trying to grab any piece of clothes. Basically, like what Bones said, I'm looking for bulges.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and grab those
I'm
bulges.
gonna grab the
and yank-
bulge.
I'm just gonna grab a bulge, yank, and run.
Okay.
Just gonna give it a good yank.
Okay.
And,
All right.
Sounds like my first date.
All right. So you reach out and try to grab this bulge that was in the pocket of this. You see, kind of looks like a bulge, and you reach out and you grab it. However, as you do, the actual insects turn their attention to you, and they begin to just suddenly swarm out from the body itself. They take off from the now partially ripped apart flesh of whoever this poor Steve person was, and they come at you.
Wonderful.
So hang on one sec. Okay. So you need to make a stamina roll.
Can I try and dodge it at all, since dodge does let me avoid even special attacks?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Haha.
Important question: how many bulges did he grab?
He only grabbed the one bulge.
I grabbed like the best bulge.
He grabbed the best bulge there was. Okay. So you quickly reach in, and then as they come swarming at you, you tumble away, and you're able to scurry past. And you look down, and you realize you just had, it was just like a PDAT, like just a basic personal data computer, but you can see it's fairly damaged. And you also notice that there's a handful of these bugs that are on your arm right now, and they're
awesome,
like poking
even
away
better.
at it.
I'm just gonna start spinning back. Doctor, get something to put these in.
I'll start getting in my kit and like grab a couple jars.
Okay. Roll a mobility test, Dr. Buckland. See if you can grab one before it flies away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get one. You manage to get like 2 or 3 of them. You scoop in, and the other rest of them just fly back, and you can see they go right back to the body.
This is fantastic, Chet. Absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Okay. So, you get back onto your vehicles. You head back to the ship. Leave the body where it's... Okay.
No, well, let's not go back ship.
Where are you headed?
Denny Hobart's gonna say, I'm not an educated man, but do we not have a fully stocked facility here on planet instead of bringing these creatures on our ship?
You're one step ahead of me. That's a mighty good thinking there.
I'm okay with this.
Yes, I would like it if we could take these bugs to the facility and not put them on our ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get on your vehicles, and then you head back to the survey team's base camp. Meanwhile,
What about that other noise that was happening?
there was just... It happened once and then stopped. It was like a slow, increasingly quick clicking, like metallic clicking in the distance, and then it went away. Jaws and Bones, you're back at the main ship, the Cyan. So what is it you're doing here?
Staying safe.
Oh, we could not be more opposite.
Checking my pictures.
Okay, you have pictures of the body. Yes,
Yes.
some of them. They're all in one pose. Never reposed it or anything like that. But
No.
so what is it you're doing back at the ship?
Apparently getting her an EpiPen so that maybe we can go back out.
Studying the pictures.
Okay. I honestly don't think you're gonna get anything from the pictures. It's still fully clothed. Like,
There's
it's not like a full...
stuff to look at in the picture.
I'll
I would
say
say if we
I'm
hear,
looking at the lines.
you can confirm that is a circular spiral-like pattern that has been carved into the forehead.
It's a spiral.
Yeah.
Do you know what spiral means? It's from the Neolithic period on Earth. That's how far back it's been used. It could be rebirth, could be a labyrinth to the soul, could be all kinds of things.
That's fantastic. I
Yes.
heard on the radio that everybody else is going to the lab to take a look at
I mean,
these.
you can, but I mean, no, no,
So grab,
emphatic no.
so grab a pen, and you should go. We're not going to be staying, any of us, by ourselves anywhere.
I'm not by myself. There's crew. There's other crew peoples.
They don't count.
I'll grab a few EpiPens and keep them for myself.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's just go see what everybody else is up to.
Okay, so you go get some EpiPens and then begin to trek back to the camp. Meanwhile, back at the survey camp, the rest of you have arrived once more. You have a couple, like 2 or 3 bugs that are in this small container that are moving around. What are the 4 of you doing?
Well, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do with this, Dr. Buckland?
Well, let's start examining. I mean, I do want to look at this because, like Chet mentioned, I'm worried about their life cycle. So get it under some kind of video micrograph
one thing. Just one thing. While we're here, do not open that container.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I do not want to be eaten. It stays in the sealed container. Any investigation is done through the sealed container.
All right. I didn't want to have to use the O word.
What's the O word? Oh, you were going to make that an order, weren't you?
I hate to do that. All right. Well, you get on about your business as I hold my hand out to Chet for the PDAT.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I start looking at the PDAT with great interest.
All right. So if somebody wants to make makes a comtech on the PDAT, and then if you're examining the bugs, Dr. Buckland, you can roll an observation test. This is going to take some time, whoever it is, because you got to do some slight repairs onto the PDAT, and then you have to spend some time kind of examining, getting the microscopes and such set up, and kind of looking around carefully. And I'm assuming you're doing it carefully.
What are we doing?
You're doing an observation because you're looking at the bug.
I'm gonna be closely watching the doctor as he's doing his examinations to make sure he doesn't get up to any funny business.
Okay. He's a little twitchy, actually. More than once, it looks like he nearly set one of the bugs free. And since you declared yourself as being next to him, you can go ahead and increase your stress by 1. Would Chet have been there as well?
I mean, I was kind of waiting by like politely to see if the captain does fine with the PDAT. So Chet just kind of like watches him poke at it and
Okay.
kind of fidgets and
Okay.
I can't make heads or tails of this. It's like you see me go through like the first couple of menus and I give up. Here, take a look at this. Tell me if there's anything in here other than just, I don't know.
I'll make sure to find the naughty pictures and delete them.
Why do you want to do that?
Awesome. Okay.
So are you going to try to fix it since he was incapable?
I'm going to give it a try if
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it takes you a little bit of time, but you are able to basically gain access. The person's name is someone by the name of Stephen Arrett. It's a LaSalle Bio National PDAT. He seems to have been a worker assigned to a ship called the Infinity, which apparently, from what you could tell, is here on the moon, doing something very similar to what you guys are doing, kind of assessing what's going on, whether this moon is valuable. In terms of what he personally is, he seems to have been a botanist, and you see that there's some data on here where he's just kind of been examining and going over like the roots themselves. You take some time to go. It's not the most exciting work in the world, but a lot of it's like chemical composition. Some things don't really add up and make sense. Basic observation. They kind of subject it. It looks like he was doing a series. He was like subjecting the root to a series of different stimuli, heat, cold, acid, etc., to see exactly how it responded. Basically concluded that it was a fairly durable and also seem to be reactive, and describes apparently that the further into the kind of the jungle area you go, the thicker and thicker they get.
Weird.
Yeah, what's that?
Now take a look at this. I don't really know what half of this means, but apparently whatever that stuff is gets worse and worse the deeper in the jungle you get. Plus these guys had their own station kind of doing what we were doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, is that it? They're just trying to figure stuff out, or were they trying to do something more specific?
I mean, I mostly skimmed it, but it was so boring for a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I may have just skimmed past some of the paragraphs. They were just like, I mean, there's like 3 pages of observation about like water absorption.
So the original contact role is to fix it, not necessarily understand it, right?
Yeah, he just fixed it
Okay.
and like basically going through a handful of logs and stuff. It's a personal thing, so it doesn't have the extent. It's likely something he had in the field, and he was making observations on it, and it's probably not the extent of his research, which is more likely like what you all do. You keep it on your ship, gets in your logs as well. So it's probably just it looks like this was mostly just like a series of infield observation.
I'll take a look over to see if there's anything else I can garner from it.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking just like, I want to know what their purpose was for being here in the first place. Like,
Okay.
because this was our planet first, right? If I remember.
It is currently under dispute.
Oh. Yeah. But so yeah, I'm wondering what they even believe is worth disputing, and that's what I'm most interested in.
Yeah, from what you can tell from the notes, it seems that he was following directives to examine the flora that was in this sort of vegetative foliage, but there's nothing more in depth than that. Dr. Buckland, you rolled a couple successes, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for when you're examining these bugs?
Making the first thing would be, checking does its biology match standard insect biology of what we would be familiar with. And then secondary is, seeing if I can get any indication on chemical composition.
Okay.
Is it a standard carbon-based or silica-based or, whatever it might be.
Okay.
And then third would be how many bulges does it have?
How many bulges? Of course, naturally. Okay, so you can tell that it, in terms of like its composition, you would equate it to like a hornet. It's a fairly similar to some kind of hornet.
This planet's done.
It seems to have it seems to have some kind of venom stinger. Fortunately, Chet didn't actually seem to. He kind of got poked a little bit here and there, but when you take a look at his arm, it doesn't look like any venom was actually secreted. You can see that they're fairly small, actually, much smaller than more traditional hornets. They're quite small, in fact. From what you could also tell, their composition seems to be consistent with like the biochemistry of it all. If you're taking a couple hours, kind of like you dissect one and kind of break it down, it does seem to be composed of what you would expect. But at the same time, you do know that the atmosphere on the moon is a little bit off. Yet it still seems to function. It does seem carbon based.
Okay.
And then the last thing, bulges.
Yeah,
there are 2 bulges.
Oh.
When you reach inside, it's got its own PDAT. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Okay. Great. Is there any kind of like cooling, like refrigeration freezer here in this lab?
Yeah, now that you got the generator started up last time, Hobart and Chet got that going. You can get that. So you can say you can probably keep 2 alive and say one of them you dissected.
Okay, yeah. I was just wanting to stick one in the freezer to kill it, so that way I can safely get hands on it.
Done.
Hold up there. How are you doing that?
Oh, 2 of them are staying, alive and active. The other one, in a sealed container, I'm sticking in the freezer to lower the temperature to a point to sedate, if not kill it. That way, when it comes for dissection, we won't be working with a specimen that wants to dissect us back.
Yeah, but in order to do that, wouldn't you have to open this container?
Oh, yes.
Did you know how you kill it? Have you never done a science experiment or collected insects in your entire life?
Easiest way is to stick it in the freezer.
Or nail polish.
I don't have any nail polish, and introducing an additional chemical to it would mean opening the container.
Well, you have to open it anyway to put it in the freezer, don't you?
Just put the container in the freezer.
Right. I'd say you either put all 3 in or you don't.
I'll put all 3 in then.
All right.
All right, fair enough. So
in they go.
That scientific analysis, the kind of repairing of the PDAT, we'll say that probably took about an hour or so, maybe a little bit more. Hobart, you saw some questionable science, but it happened. Jaws and Bones, you rejoin the party. What do you want to do?
Well, I think that won't. Oh wait, were you asking the 4 of us or the 2 of them? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say all of you at this point are probably back because the Bones and Jaws were returning to camp. So at this point, all of you, you've been on the moon for a couple hours now. You're all here. What do you want to do?
I mean, I suppose there's a reason for protocol and all. Should we be taking off this planet for a while?
It is time to follow protocol.
Probably also be a good idea because we know that there's supposed to be another ship around. So we probably want to figure out where that ship is.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, let's get on out of here.
Okay. So you head back to your ship. As you're doing so, who's driving? Should be 3 of you that are driving. So the 3 of you that aren't driving can go ahead and roll an observation test.
You were driving, weren't you, Chuck?
You're driving.
I'm driving? Okay.
I am not driving.
So I will roll observation.
Okay. So Hobart, Bones. Okay. Hobart, you as you're driving past the this like that little vegetation foliage area, when you look out towards where the body had been left, it is no longer there. You don't see it at all in any shape. Bones, when you're looking in the opposite direction, like kind of looking off, you swear you see like people like up on a rock in the distance looking down at all of you.
Click, 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 click.
Okay. So you take some quick photographs. They're a ways away. There are hundreds and hundreds of yards away, but you can see them.
Digital camera.
Bones
I think I
safely
saw-
views the world through behind the camera.
I think I saw some people looking at us. Can we hurry up and get to the ship?
Whoa, people or creatures?
Yes. That's an accurate thing. They were standing. Does that help?
On 2 of 4.
I'd say 2 bipedal.
They look like figures. They look like people, like as far as you can tell.
People figures, you know.
life-size He-Man action figures.
Like that.
Oh,
We
sweet.
gotta
Let's
turn
get
around.
them. Yeah. E-brake.
Okay. Do you continue forward, or do you deal with either one of those two things?
Nope. We continue on.
Going.
All right.
Whatever you
Don't
want.
should
stop,
probably-
Charles. Don't stop.
We should probably see if we can get some sort of eyes on it on our way out.
Okay. So you make it back to the ship. No problem. Did you bring the bugs with you, or did you leave them in the refrigerator there?
Left them in the fridge.
Okay.
They aren't going anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. So you're back on the ship. What's the plan now?
Well, we're supposed to go back up in orbit and check in. So on our way up, Jaws, you want to kind of go in that direction, them figures, so that we can see who or what they were.
Can I first look for the Infinity?
Yeah. Go ahead and
do a
roll a
scan?
piloting test.
Okay.
Or you actually just want to like scan? You do know that you guys landed roughly towards the south side of like this large section of foliage, this vegetative area. You do know that there were kind of signal blips on the north side somewhere as well. But this thing is several miles across, so you didn't really see anything on your path in. So it's up to you whether you want to just fly up back, and then as you're going back up, kind of do a better look, or if you wanted to actually just start scanning.
I would like to try to scan first.
Okay.
Take a couple minutes to scan first.
All right.
and then
Roll a comtech for that.
do a slow fly out.
Okay. All right. So you do notice that there is with one success. Yeah, you can confirm that there does seem to be energy signatures of some kind north of the kind of vegetative area. So a few clicks north. On your fly out, how do you want to
First-
path?
I will first go to the life-size action figure cliff, and then over the wooded area towards where I saw the
Okay.
blips on my scan.
You don't see anything when you path over the hilly area where Bones had pointed out people looking at you all. You pass over the forested area, and you can see that it is it's a couple kilometers across, and north of it you can see that there is a large ship that is set up near what looks to be some kind of base camp. So a series of kind of ad hoc buildings and things like that. But a large ship, like space-worthy hyperdrive, looks to be... you only got one success. You don't know the specific model, but you would peg it as something similar to what you all are flying.
Can I see any movement in that area?
No, you're moving really fast, and you barely can see down there. Like this is like you're not flying like an F-150 or anything. You're flying a giant like tow truck, is what you're flying. So nothing that specific.
So I'll point out to everybody that does it appear that there is enough space for a landing in this area?
I mean, you can find it. It's a very
In the
flat,
future.
other than like a couple hills here and there and some rocky mountains in the far distance. It's a relatively flat area, so it's not too difficult to find a place to land. I would also say with your one success that you can actually there is a transponder code on ships, and so this is the Infinity. So as you pass over, you would be able to identify it.
Okay. So I'll update everybody that this is the ship that the dead guy was from. So we might want to land back over here at some point.
I
Should
do
we do it?
believe the game mother is baiting us. Let's go back to the ship.
How dare you? How dare you? Oh, you guys ran out of gas and crashed. Okay. You get back up into space, into orbit, no problem. So what are you sending out? Like, what are you trying to get confirmed from Mother?
I just want to report our initial findings and see if there's any changes to what we've been told to do, or to stick with the plan.
Okay. So you send that out, and it's a while before you get anything back, of course. But eventually, you are like your central orders are reiterated. Assess the anomalous signature that they're getting from the moon. See whether or not there's any sort of hidden value to the moon that isn't already known, and sort of reinforce the Weyland-Yutani claim on this moon is kind of what they're after. So assess that signature.
All right, affirmative. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say we're on it, and say that we'll be back at opportune times to give updates, regardless.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've been told from those that would be the deciding force, so we're definitely staying. We're figuring out more. I didn't think that would change much, but
To what end?
to what end?
To what end?
Well, we need to reinforce our claim on this moon. That's the biggest thing. And then if there's ever any reason to not enforce this claim, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But from what little we've seen, I'm pretty sure they're going to consider this worth enforcing a claim. Wouldn't you agree? As I look over to Dr. Buckland.
Yes, if we're finding, non-terrestrial life forms on here, then absolutely it's worth reinforcing a claim.
Well, I say claim reinforced, and let's get the hell out of here.
Well,
We still need to investigate that signal.
I don't think that
Mission has not been
Bionational
accomplished.
knows that it's been reinforced. I think
We know.
Bionational is going to have to know.
What if we me and Sarge, we drop from the air, we drop down on their little base there, we sabotage it, and then you come back by with some ropes and pick us up,
I think that's a great idea.
right? Sabotage.
Telling all y'all.
All right, listen, all y'all. It's not a sabotage. We're not going to go that route this time. Maybe a little bit later when we start running out of options.
Okay.
But
All right, then, Captain.
Keep
What
them-
is our next steps?
well, I would be more inclined to listen to Jaws. Jaws was saying that was the Infinity. Sorry, next most logical step I would guess, but
Grow
I'm
up
not a
there,
doctor.
Captain. Don't guess and give us some damn orders.
why don't you shut the fuck up for a bit and let me think? How about that?
Oh, there we go. There we go. We'll get the captain out. That is how it's done, Captain. You've earned some respect.
Captain just starts laughing, just like I am. But he just can't really be bothered that much. And all right,
I know it drives Hobart crazy. It drives him just insane.
all right. Well, let's get down there. Let's see if there's anybody left worth talking to with our Weyland-Yutani, co-workers, whatnot.
National people.
right.
Yeah, we still need to investigate that signal too. But hopefully, if we talk to people on the surface, they'll have more information.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So are you taking the whole ship back down again?
This is not meant to be, like a commuter ship. Like
We have a landing vessel, right?
Yes, you do.
We do.
Well, let me go grab up a couple, cases of science supplies and You know, as much as I trust in your piloting capabilities, Jaws, I know that we're tempting fate every time we take this thing in atmosphere.
I mean, not that I mind, but I'm not looking to do this like 6 more times when y'all can't decide what you're doing. So, you know.
Jaws, I think that we will be coming back and forth between the planet.
That's what shuttles are for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I'm going to go start gathering
Hey,
science
wow.
supplies.
Like,
Okay.
that was just, he's just trying to captain here.
I get to fly stuff no matter what. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter much to me. I'm just saying. And then I'll like, kind of get on the radio and be like, Bones, you stocked up on EpiPens because you're not going to be able to run back to the ship next time you need one.
Yeah, Bones, why don't you grab a few extra for everyone else too?
Okay. Yes, I'll grab a few for everyone.
Hey, anybody else need something to take the edge off as I pour a little bit of whiskey into my coffee that I've been magically drinking somehow this whole time? And I tap on the cup and drink up from it a little bit as I'm gonna I reduce my stress by 1 using my signature item.
I was gonna ask, because we're on the ship and we spent some time here, can we
You can
lose some
reset.
stress?
Yeah, you can reset your stress.
Shit.
Oh,
Because
so
it's going to be
I-
multiple shifts because you've got one whole shift and then another shift and probably even a third because you're sending a message, waiting for a response, getting prepped, and then going down. So like we're doing like a full fast forward of almost like a.
I
like
probably
2
didn't
days.
need to use that then.
It's fine. You
Okay.
can undo it.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
So
So
Jaws will do whatever you need to do to kind of get the ship
yeah, moving along.
secure.
Go ahead and roll a piloting test to go and fly back down to the ship.
We're all going to die.
Mel's turn to blow up the ship.
Back down we go.
This was the full ship or this was the drop ship?
Dropship.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna
yes.
say, yeah. Okay. You it's a smooth, simple, easy, like it's intense, it's an intense ride. This is a modified marine dropship, so like it moves at ridiculous speed as it's going from orbit, but it's your pilot seems to be very capable, unlike some certain pilots in the past. And the question I have is just where are you going? Like where are you looking to lay down? Like Dropship Murphy. That's a good name for the dropship. Where are you? Where are you making? Are you landing on the
In
southern
the
side?
vicinity
Or are you landing on
of,
the
but
north?
not right on the back door of the Infinity area.
Okay.
I'm
So-
assuming, Captain, that's where I'm landing. this
Sure.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you think is best. I give like a side glance to Omar.
This is
Shaking
so
his head at
doomed.
you. And he's
Jaws
like,
is-
you hear him complaining to Chet. He's just, I don't know, this captain, I don't know.
All right. So you do. You land just fine. Buckland has his science stuff. You get back into your suits, and you're once more out on the planet's surface about a day and a half later. Nothing appears to have changed, but you get in you get moving towards the bionational camp. Whoever's taking point, go ahead and roll an observation.
Camp or ship? Did we go to the ship or the camp? I can't remember.
They're right next to each other. It looks like they
gotcha.
built their camp right next to their ship.
Chet, you want to take point or me?
I'm whatever you want, Sarge.
Chet, you going first with these killer
All right.
bugs.
Yes, sir.
You go first with these killer bugs.
He doesn't have real skin. Is he wearing a suit this time or no?
Of course, yeah. I'd like to keep up
Must have fit
the.
in.
Yeah, I want to fit in, and plus the other thing is those other guys don't necessarily know
Oh,
Okay.
I'm a dirty bastard.
Yeah, when you get close to the camp and the ship, the bionational ship, you don't see any signs of activity. You don't see anyone moving about at all. But it looks like the ship it's a star shuttle of some kind, probably modified, of course. And you can see that there's a series of kind of exterior ad hoc buildings. It looks to be a little bit bigger and more robust than what the what Weyland-Yutani had set up on the southern side. You can see that there's about a half mile, a little less, between the ship and where the kind of their camp is set up. And then you can also see, that's it. That's it. So it's a short walk between the two.
Okay. I didn't get much, Sarge, but that's what I saw so far.
Let's go investigate that ship.
Yes.
Okay.
So step 1, we pretend to rescue. Step 2, sabotage, right?
Something like that, Chet.
After we've landed, can I try to look for any radio chatter?
Yeah.
Hey.
Scan
Sure.
local frequencies.
Nothing.
I don't think I'm not comfortable with you two going in there alone.
We've got each other. What do you mean alone?
I can go along with them.
You've got each other.
Well, I'm thinking we should all go in there.
And I've gone for a few rounds of fisticuffs in my youth. I'll be useful.
Captain, I do not recommend that. We do not want to put everyone in potential danger, but we will take the doc, as he seems quite proficient at his fisticuffs.
Now, if I so the Infinity is bionationals, right?
That is correct.
No, I think we should all go in there.
Jaws,
Is that an order?
Jaws, you should roll a comtech, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah, come on, team. We're using the big O word.
You heard the captain. I should have taken some of those insects in the jar, and if we came across trouble, I could have just thrown the jar at the trouble.
Owen should have taken a picture of you so we could see your O face anytime.
Oh, God. Who is teaching Chet about O faces?
Dr. Buckland,
God
one of
damn
my
it, Buckland.
specialities is education on the birds and the bees.
Speaking of that, as you're scanning around the radio, you get you're like, Affinity, this is Cyan, come back. In no response, but at a certain point, you notice there's sort of a background noise that first just sounds basically like static to you, but as you're sitting there and kind of playing around with the radio, and then as you're calling out for various people in the Weyland-Yutani survey team, you start to notice that static is actually starting to take a sound, it takes a shape, and then as you're sitting there listening, it just becomes a fairly it almost sounds like music, like a bird call, like a flute, something like that, like a high-pitched but in tune sort of trill.
I'm gonna switch it to a speaker and just see hey, has anybody heard something like this before?
If any of you have heard a flute, you've heard something or a bird call, it sounds like that. Yeah.
But it's not Space Russian, just to be clear.
It is not Space Russian, no.
Okay, good.
Well, why is that being broadcast over radio waves? That's the first question. Perhaps an altered mental state of the researchers here?
The bugs have formed a conglomeration and started making their own music.
Ooh.
There's a giant bug man in there.
So the bugs, I wonder if they would call themselves the BGs? Is there B's for bugs? I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, if they're gonna try and start interacting with us, then maybe we should teach them to walk like a man and talk like a man.
What a night.
So we're doing a lot of
Oh,
talking
boy.
here. Are we gonna
I mean,
Yeah.
go do
sounds
some
like the
science
captain
or
wants us to
something?
check the ship out.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like fun.
Okay.
Yes,
Unless
you
you all
should-
want to go back to the ship again. I mean, I can
You
just
should go
be a
do
bus
that.
driver and just
Yeah.
turn
No.
it back around again.
Let's go check out the ship.
I mean, yeah, you could be a coward, or you could go science.
Science, aggressive science.
Aggressive science.
Well, listen here, folks. Even though we're here to enforce a claim, If there's lives that need saving, we should probably do that.
Okay.
Off the dropship we go.
Okay. So you head over to the ship, all 6 of you, and from what you can tell, the best way of ingress seems to be via an access port over by the cargo area in the rear of the ship. You climb up like a small little ladder, and it looks like people had been coming and going from this in some regularity. You can see that the earth nearby has been disturbed, likely from kind of cargo bay hatches going up and down, or cargo bay loading docks going up and down. But you go in and you take a second, kind of mess with the entrance port, and eventually the opens up. You step inside, and
Very politely calling out that
Sure.
we are rival companies, so we're not trying to like.
yeah. So yeah, you go inside and politely call out. You seem to be in some kind of hallway that parallels some of the cargo bays. Looks a little
We see any
different.
kind of like in-ship intercom?
Yeah, right by the doors.
Maybe we should ring, see if anyone's home.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Then I'll go over to the intercom. I'll press on it. Excuse me, Infinity. This is some folks with Whale and Utani. We are aboard your vessel. We tried to hail you. We didn't hear any response. We are doing our due diligence and seeing if anyone needs assistance.
Yeah, there's no response. Wait around. Identify the specific junction you're in. No response.
All right. Well, either they're all out and in the forest, or something bad's
Well,
happened.
Captain Jaws, you can correct me on this, but I believe that protocol dictates that even with a situation like this where the ship's touched down, someone always stays aboard the ship just for, monitoring and maintaining systems. It seems very odd to me that it's been apparently abandoned.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
we've still got people over on ours.
And
Right.
and if it's abandoned, it's like finders, keepers, losers, weepers, right? That's space law or something.
This is legitimate salvage
Well,
at this point.
It very well may be, and also they are on our claimed moon, so it could potentially be salvaged. But you know me, personnel, mission, money. Even if it's personnel of another company, I want to know if there's any lives to be saved. So
It's true. Dead men tell no tales.
The lights are all on. There's no sign of any markings or anything anywhere.
Well, I suppose we have to rethink, is the appropriate first step to visit this ship or head on over to their camp and see if anyone's actively in their camp?
well,
Jaws would like to go to the ship and see if there's any information, because if we're trying to gather information and we didn't think there was enough on the PDAT because there would be more that would have been uploaded onto the ship, then this is
Yeah.
where it would be.
all right. Well, seeing as how I'm all about making sure people are alive, I think now is the time when we may need to divide our attentions. So, volunteers for heading outside and checking out the camp that they have set up.
I can do that.
Me and Chet got this.
Whatever you want, Sarge.
Oh, Sarge, why don't you take our good doctor with you?
Come on, Sarge. We haven't had much time to chat since we've been on planet.
keep our other good doctor with us, and Jaws will check everything out here.
Okay.
Captain.
Your other good doctor? Your other. Anyways.
Are you telling me that you're a bad doctor now?
Oh, quite on the contrary.
Well, maybe you're the best doctor. I don't know. That's for you doctors to decide.
Jaws has walked off to the bridge.
Okay.
So
I do have 2 separate doctorates. I would like to take the claim as the good doctor. Or sadly, none of those are in medical field, so I cannot take the title as Dr. Feelgood, but
Oh god.
that's fine.
Oh god. Okay. So who's going to the bridge? So Jaws, I heard, is going to the bridge. Who else?
I am.
Okay, Rook. Then Chet, Hobart, and Buckland. Where are the 3 of you headed?
The camp.
Okay,
That
so you guys
camp.
pop back out and start heading towards the camp. When those of you heading to the bridge get to the bridge, the entire route there is completely boring and empty, and there's nobody, no signs of anyone at all. The hallways and stuff that you pass through, the hatches, the stairs, etc., everything seems fine.
does anything look like crew
You don't see anything.
on this level that we're passing through?
Depends. If you want to do a search of the ship, you can do a search of the ship, or you can just go to the bridge. So,
I wanted to go to the bridge. Just
Okay.
if we happen to pass a door that said like Steven, I wasn't gonna
no,
pass it by and not look at
no,
him.
no. It doesn't work quite like that. But yeah, so you make it to the bridge. Everything seems to be intact. Everything seems to be in order. But you can go ahead and when you start trying to access some of the systems, they seem to be functional. You have trouble accessing them, obviously. They seem to be under power. Communications, you check that really quickly. They seem to be working. Maybe you do a test where Rook goes down the
Yep.
hallway and you communicate through the intercom. Everything works just fine. You can even send a communication back up to the Cyan and they get it just fine and they respond. So everything's in perfectly good working order.
Is there any kind of shortwave messaging that would go out to like their folks that are out and about?
Yeah, I mean, you do everything that you know and under your power to send out messages to everybody. It is clear that no one is responding. You can dig into logs and systems if you want, but that's going to take Comtech. So you can roll that. The rest of you head over towards the camp. When the 3 of you arrive, you notice a few things. You notice that there are a handful of buildings, obviously, like I mentioned before, but 2 stand out in particular. One looks to be kind of an oblong building that looks actually open air. It really just looks like kind of a plastic tarp is kind of, sort of loosely draped over a basic frame, but you can see that there is kind of a crease in where the 2 slides of the tarp meet that just again seems to be open air. And then there's also what looks like an in progress like fence enclosure being built. It looks like some kind of electrical fence, but it doesn't seem to be in sort of completely done yet. And you also notice 2 other things. One, right in the center of the camp, equipment has been piled, and you can see that it seems to be strange hodgepodge of various cases and pieces of metal, tarps that kind of are stacked together. And then you also notice that there are a lot of these kind of large, strange graffiti on some of the sides of the buildings within
Still
the camp.
spiral.
Yeah, you take a look at that, and it does in fact look like this spiral look. Make a wits test, Buckland. Just roll wits really quick.
Yeah.
You can see like on the side of one of these buildings, like it's almost like it's been blown up, like it's a high res image, whereas other things you've seen has been fairly small. Do you want to push?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and push that.
Okay.
All right.
When you're starting to look at it a little bit more, now that it's a little bit bigger, you're taking a second, just kind of staring at it. It looks a little calling it a spiral is sort of a little bit reductive. When you kind of start looking at the shape of it, you kind of cock your head a little bit. It almost looks like there's something bulky or bulge-like that's sort of been folded upon itself, almost like a womb, like a coiled animal in a womb, and it's not so much like this spiraling image. How did that comtech go, Joss?
I think a few of us rolled, and we had multiple successes across all of us.
Okay. So I think I got. All right.
I had 1.
I had 0.
Okay.
Bones had 2.
And I had 2 because I figured if we're looking for research.
Okay. So what kind of logs or research information are you looking for, Bones and Jaws?
Anything about the bugs or anything about the wood that was found?
Okay. And then what about you, Jaws?
I'm gonna look for anything like personnel report type log information.
Okay. Jaws, you're able to actually access the commander's kind of personnel logs. And Bones, you would know that the best place to get the information you want would probably be one of the science labs, if you wanted to go there. Okay. So you start reading through the captain's details logs as best you can. Since you're looking for personnel logs, yeah, you get kind of his more of his private stuff, where it's just sort of almost like he's talking to himself a little bit. A lot of the early ones, this is going to take some time to read through these, but as you're kind of reading through them initially, there's a lot of skepticism about this mission. He's a little frustrated. It feels like he's doing things like he doesn't want to do. His crew doesn't seem particularly excited or invested in it, getting sent to a dead rock. But you can tell that there was sort of excitement or interest was kind of piqued at the sudden discovery of some sort of radiation signature. And a lot of the logs start detailing like organizations of expeditions, looking around, taking samples and stuff, that kind of thing. If you're looking for specific personnel files, if you're looking for anomalies, you can see that apparently there was like some kind of fight at some point between a couple of the people on the ship. Apparently there was a roughneck named Rodney Horn that was sermonizing again, and apparently one of the geologists decked him and hit him with a metal food tray. What else? What other kinds of things are you kind of poking for? And that's enough for like a quick scan. If you want to spend more time, you could probably dig into these some more. But there's a lot of this stuff to dive through.
Okay. I'll let Bones know that it seems like there was a bit of kind of science reporting in there too.
So then in the science lab, when you head over there, you notice that there are a lot of samples that have been collected and stored here, Bones. You notice, however, that 2 of those sample containers are broken. One, you can tell there is one of those kind of black roots that seems to have burst from its container, but it is still intact, but it seems to have grown larger than the container that it was in. You do notice that there is a fish tank that has some rocks in it that appears to have been cracked and broken. All of that is sort of behind kind of a retainer, so it seems to be in a separate area from a console that you can access. But if you start diving into some of those science logs, you can see that the roots that they collected. Well, actually, I'll say this: they detailed a series of things that they found. They found a couple different species of worms. They found a hornet-like insect. They found some kind of flower, and they describe a large, quote, predator within the jungle somewhere. Meanwhile, over at the camp, what are you guys doing over there?
Hey guys, what if they set up the body to draw out those weird hornet things on purpose so they could gather something?
Yeah, but then they should have been there to gather something.
Well, I mean, the bees
Unless-
came from...
Yeah, that's, yeah. The hornets weren't their target, but we chased them off with our presence. That could be.
Yeah, these people are doing some like weird stuff. Like maybe there's like a space cult.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Space cults aren't that far-fetched. You find when you're this far out on the outer rim, small pockets of people easily fall under the influence of highly charismatic people. So, maybe we should poke our heads in some of these buildings.
What do you think, Sarge?
I agree. Let
Okay.
the poking commence.
Any
Let's just-
particular
oh.
building?
Largest one.
Yeah, what's the biggest one?
All right, so you go into some of these, and similar to Weyland-Yutani, they seem to be intact. You don't really see any signs of, like, damage. You don't see, like, big old pools of blood or anything like that. Most of them seem to be intact. You have what looks like in this large oblong building that was open to air. That was the biggest one. You go inside and you immediately notice that the ground in here is of a different color than the rest of the surface. Like as you're walking through the camp and stuff, it's like this kind of pale tan color. But you come in here and it's like this darker, almost black dirt that's within this large oblong building.
That's and the difference in soil color, it follows the building, right? It doesn't like bleed out one direction or the other.
Yeah, there's like a couple feet right on the entrance where it's just like platform that has been set up, and all around the outs like there's like a whole frame like where you can like walk around the entirety of the building, like inside of it, and then there's this like interior large expanse of like this dark dirt. But yeah, they've set up some kind of walkway around it.
I wonder if they were trying their hand at horticulture here on this planet. Any kind of like computer stations or anything like that?
Not inside here.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't see people. I don't see any, terminals. I don't know about you, but I presume our intention here is to find people and not necessarily their research right off the bat. There's time for that later.
Yeah.
Captain Cryan just donated 100 bits. You all can remove a stress if you have it.
Hey.
Oh, nice. Oh, thanks.
I do declare these people are gone, and we can lay claim safely. Why are we poking around here?
That's true. If it's not occupied, then it's, what claim do they have? The only thing that worries me is the fact that Jaws, or who was it? Yeah, Jaws said that they saw someone on the drive over here.
Yeah, Bones did.
Bones
did we ever
did,
look
my
at the
bad.
photograph that Bones took? Because Bones did take a picture.
Bones took pictures of the body, and then she tried to take pictures of the stuff in the distance. The body that you looked at didn't really have any additional information that you didn't already have on the PDAT. There was really nothing to see short of actually taking the body and doing a medical analysis of it. There really wasn't going to be anything you can get from that. When you look at the picture that she said she took of the people she saw in the hills to the south of where you were driving, you don't see anything.
There was a streak, I tell you. It was an outline in a blur.
Nope.
Nothing there.
If there's no people here, maybe we can look at that pile of stuff. Like, what is that about?
Could be. Nest of some form, maybe?
As you're walking out, go ahead and roll an observation test as you're walking out to go look at the, you're leaving this building and going out there.
Nope.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Chet, yeah.
So both Chet and Buckland, you see something moving in the dirt, and Chet specifically, you actually see things, like little writhing things, pop up out of the dirt, and then sort of sink back into it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Uh, I would have a mild moment of panic as I would furiously slap the good sergeant on the shoulder to draw his attention to.
Worms in the dirt. We should probably move.
How big is this bulge, if you will?
Okay, so when you point it out to him, you can see that it's moving, like as you start to watch, like almost the whole thing is moving. This room is probably about 30 feet in length, and then half is wide, and then there's like a walkway around it, but like most of it is just this long kind of pool of dirt, and almost that entire pool is in the process of writhing right now.
I'm gonna shoot.
That is too much bulge for me. I'm out.
It's some kind of habitat terrarium of some sort.
The hills are bulges. The hills have bulges. Oh god.
I think we should. Yeah, we get the hell out of there. But as we're getting out, I'm firing on it.
Okay, yeah, you're firing. No problem.
Chet,
Awesome. Me too.
I think it's fair for all of you to go ahead and take a point of stress at the sudden appearance of moving soil or whatever.
I've seen this before.
Okay. All right. Back on the ship. Bones, Rook, Jaws, what are you doing? What do you want to do?
Y'all find anything?
I found a lab. It has all kinds of samples and some worms and some insects and some wood that broke the container it was in.
Wait. So something's gotten loose?
Well, I wouldn't say it's loose.
All right. Well, you may want to.
I mean, it's in a different room. I'm not going in there. You can have Mr. Buckland come over and share his expertise.
All right. Well, did you find anything useful though, or that? Why they would even know to come here in the first place?
Apparently, they like soil and wooden worms.
Jaws will interrupt and say, I was able to find that they were interested in the radiation signature.
Yes, that's a better reason.
Mm-hmm.
That was their interest.
All right.
They gather the samples. So far, I haven't found anything too far out of the ordinary. A little fight between, somebody hit somebody else upside the head for sermonizing a bit.
Okay.
These things happen.
So we'll say you're spending some more time doing this. Bones, rolling over your comm check from before, if you're continuing to read through some of the stuff in here, you dig into some of the details and observations that they made on some of the root samples, and apparently there's some kind of osmosis ability. You also read how some crew members were exposed to the insects. And they kind of detailed kind of being stung by them and feeling a little bit of sickness afterwards. The virology tests are inconclusive, apparently. And there is a note that says, we'll reevaluate once reinforcements arrive. Then there is a fairly long list of information about the dirt in the jungle. Apparently has actual nutrients. It displays a level of fertility that it can actually seems nutrient rich, whereas everything else on the planet is not, which they were apparently very excited about. They were kind of curious as to what was doing this. Another note was that they've been here for what sounds like close to a month, and in that time, the size of that sort of jungle vegetative area has grown, And as that radius is grown, the soil that is being kind of covered by it the dirt is being re-energized. It's going from dead, dry dirt into nutrient-rich soil. And they seem to be very excited about what the hell is going on. And if they can figure out the source of this, that could be very useful. And so apparently they were examining the worms to see if there was any kind of sign, but there's no details on whether they learned anything from that. But they had set up like they said they set up a small area in the camp to just do some testing.
Well, apparently the rising location is part of their testing of the area that's being revitalized. Remember when I said circles were like creation and growth? Apparently, it's been growing for a while. They've been here for a month and are waiting for reinforcements.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure.
Did I mention there was a predator out there? No, predator in the jungle. Did I mention that earlier? I don't remember.
Oh,
Might have been the clicking noise.
get to the shuttle.
But
Get to the shuttle. No, seriously, we should get to the shuttle. We need to get up there and let them know, because if reinforcements are coming, that ain't gonna be something that we can handle.
Can we just message the other 3 just to let them know kind of what to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, it's fine. You can keep in contact.
aren't they shooting right now? Shooting at one.
You catch them, they're like, 1 second.
You should be on the lookout for some worms.
And a predator.
As you're continuing to read, Jaws, you can see that there's some notes about expeditions that they took into the jungle. Mm-hmm. They discovered some kind of impact crater from which the vegetation seems to be expanding out from.
So on these shuttles, is there any sort of like hard disk space or storage like drive that we could take from this ship?
I don't know actually how that's broken down. I know that depending upon the quality, like the computer itself is a fairly high model. So I feel like the higher the model, the more, I don't know, solid state it is, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
Maybe like if it's possible, it'd be something I'd like to take to send back to WY. But if not, don't worry about it.
I think you can probably like as you're going through and digging through files and stuff. Yeah, you could do that.
All right, we got what we came for. They seem to have abandoned theirs. I'm declaring this salvage now.
Can I take just a little bit longer, Captain? I want to see if I can get any information about Stevens and see if there's anywhere in particular that he went.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let's do that, but let's be hurrying because we need to get out of here.
Last thing.
Okay, so you're looking for Stevens specifically.
Yeah.
In terms of where he was assigned, he was on an expedition to the jungle. Absolutely. You do see that. Okay, so you can see that as they were going deeper into that area, like they found some impact crater, and you get this weird note, and it's kind of just a list of who went on it, and one of them was Stevens, but you get kind of a message. It says, something took Turner. We spent a whole day hacking through the foliage and another climbing down the crater, and then it says, we found a hole, a big hole right at the center, like a sinkhole, and he describes like huge roots that were emerging up out of it. Said he laid markers to return once they got more climbing equipment. We're going down. But then he also notes that on the way back, everyone turned around and suddenly Turner wasn't there anymore. But there's no note of, other than Stevens just being assigned to a certain thing and being a botanist and being on that expedition, there's no specific details about him. Like, nothing stands out. He doesn't have anything against his record or anything like that.
Okay. That is good information to have.
Okay, so back at the camp. You guys are looking at that thing in the middle, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll observation.
Oh. All right, I'm keeping it together. 3 successes.
Oh my god, Hopper's gonna start firing. Okay. Berserk, what?
Okay.
Oh, jeez. All right, so looks like Chet, you're good, and Giovanni. I always forget your middle name's Giovanni. Dr. Buckland. Giovanni.
Johann Giovanni Buckland.
Jeez. Okay. The two of you are pretty clear, especially you, Buckland, that some of the tech, like you're seeing things that are stacked up, but you're also seeing that there's pieces of things on here, scrap. A lot of it's like dirty, broken, and it is of some kind of non-organic material. And the two of you are very confident that this isn't consistent with bionational technology. Like it's not anything that your corporate spies knows that they have. Plus, it seems old, dirty. And I would say, Buckland, it's not necessarily your expertise. Maybe your archaeologist, anthropologist might be better at this, but the way things are kind of laid out here seem really peculiar. Like there's almost like a kind of a reverence to the way in which things have been neatly stacked and placed upon it. It's kind of shrine-like.
Okay. Let's see. I should have. Yeah, I've got a camera as well. So I'll start taking pictures and doing recordings of it. That way I can show Dr. Bones.
Yeah. Okay.
Won't we team back up?
You guys do anything else here?
No. Negative.
No. Real quick question here, Sergeant. So did the captain fully outline what our tasks are?
No, he did not.
Okay. Well,
As per usual.
hey, Captain's a good guy, you know? He lets me get away with a lot.
No kidding.
Yeah, I've noticed.
All right. Well, I mean, the reason why I asked, Sergeant, is I feel that there's a very large plot happening here. And we'll need to take it to the captain to find out how much of this we actually need to engage with. Because I would love to sit here and do all the studying of this, but I also don't want to die on this planet. And, I've got some bugs that I can take and study. I don't know. Just voicing concerns with you, Sergeant.
Noted. Doctor. Noted. Perhaps the two of us, and Chet here, could talk some sense into that captain of ours.
Okay. Or at least reaffirm our tasks at hand.
So, since you took some photos of this, should we at least snag a couple things that look important and bring it back with us?
We would need to do some kind of we don't want to just carry it on the ship as is. We don't know what might be lingering on this, especially if they have a tent full of worms, which we do need to take samples of. Hopefully you didn't blast them all, or not worms. I don't know that they're worms. A pit full of wiggling things.
Yeah.
Chet, do you have your flamethrower burn this altar?
I have to disagree with that.
Chet?
I wish I had a flamethrower. You have a flamethrower on the ship? Can I bring the flamethrower next time? I will totally wear a flamethrower.
Yes, you bring the flamethrower.
Oh my god, Chet literally gives you a hug. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, I don't have well, maybe I'll search for a small piece of whatever this strange material is that I can put in one of my, small containment vessels to safely bring back on board. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Cool.
The three of you, roll an observation test. As you're out here. Okay. Same deal. The two of you, Chet, Buckland, as you're talking this over, like, should we bring this in the ship? Should we not bring this in the ship? You watch your dropship fly away.
Oh, that's bad. Why are they leaving us?
Dude, what the hell is going on? Captain, over the comms.
What? What do you want?
Where are you going?
Are we in fact on the dropship?
No, you're still on the
We're on the
main ship.
Infinity.
Yeah. Nowhere.
Eyes in the sky. Then who is on our ship?
What? Get to the nearest window.
Okay. Sure. It looks out, and you see your dropship flying away.
Son of
We better hope that Infinity there can fly. Or as in the science field, we are fucked.
Been duped.
There's a little magneto key underneath one of the wheel beds.
That's exactly what I was about to
That's what it
type
was.
in chat.
We should also notify our ship not to let the dropship dock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm on you. So I'll signal up to our ship. Hey, someone took the shuttle. It ain't us if it comes up there.
You hear derision and laughter. Like, no, seriously, you guys coming back? Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. This place was abandoned, so we started searching it.
And that thing's like $6 million, right? At least.
Glad I am not the captain on this one.
What we have here is worth a lot more than that.
Okay.
I've declared this officially salvaged because it was abandoned.
Copy that. Okay, if it tries to get on the,
I'm gonna need you to keep track of it for me. That way we can know where it's headed.
Copy that. Copy that. We'll pick it up.
Can I try to hail the dropship?
Sure. You hail the dropship and there is no response.
Just expletive laced, like, get the hell off of my ship. What do you think you're doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh god, that would be hilarious if they just took the real ship. Luckily you had people on the real ship. Okay. While those of you who are on the bridge are on the bridge, or actually no, Bones, you would probably see this. As you're moving past medical, we'll do a couple different things. Bones, as you're moving past medical, you do notice that, like, the medical lab itself, the lights are on. You can see some of the, like, the container cabinets are, like, open. So it's kind of been left in a little bit of disarray. It doesn't look like it's trashed or anything, but it's like it's in a little bit of disarray. Rook, as you're kind of going, or actually no, so you were on the comms. Jaws, as you're going through like systems checks and stuff like that, you do notice that there is significant power being diverted to the cryo chamber, more than would be diverted in an instance where, unless there's people in a chamber. So yeah, there's those two things. What are the three of you out by the camp doing now?
Heading back to the Infinity.
Yeah, let's go to the Infinity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you start heading back.
Okay, so we've got someone up on the... Oh, I'm assuming they get here.
Yeah, they will.
Okay. All right, everybody. Crew, gather around. We got somebody up there looking for the shuttle now. They're pinging it. And so as soon as they get a location on it, we're going to need to go and recover it. We think this thing is flight capable, or have we checked its manifest to see if there's any shuttles on here?
It's under power, as best you can tell. You haven't really done a full, kind of a full scout of the ship, which you can do if you want, especially with more people coming back. But so far, you've really just been digging through logs, and then Bones has been down by the med in science labs.
Sarge, you might be interested in the fact that there seems to be some extra power being diverted to cryo. You might want to say good morning to some folks and maybe get some more
Doctor, come with me.
You got it.
Okay.
Other doctor, you come with me too.
Oh yeah, there was a space cult. They stacked stuff up. We took pictures for you.
I'll just hand my camera over to Dr. Bo. It's
Okay.
like, check this really cool shit out
Okay.
as we're heading to cryo.
All right. So while she's checking that really cool shit out, you guys get into cryo. There looks to be 8 beds in here. And as you're looking through them, 7 of them are empty. One of them is occupied.
Can we, through the glass, can we see what kind of state? If there's a person there and what kind of state they're in?
Okay. There's a woman inside. She's got kind of usual gear on. She's got kind of tank top on, kind of sleeping gear, etc. The monitors suggest she's in full stasis. Everything's fine. But when you look at her, her eyes are open, which is very peculiar. And not only that, but they look kind of strange. Like the sclera is discolored, and the pupils are just in like this constant state of dilation. And some of the exposed skin appears to be discolored.
Ooh.
Do not open that.
We're not opening this. Or
There is no or.
or we, hook this up to portable, power, wheel it down to their science lab, put it in a, sealed environment room, pop it open while we're in our suits, very quickly put, some kind of restraints on them. We'll let them wake up and then ask some questions, but in case they're, contagious or dangerous, we won't be in the room with them, and we don't have to worry about breathing the same air as them.
That's some trippy hippie science they're trying to do right there.
That is a convoluted idea, and I do not agree, Dr.
Listen, I'm just saying, I don't trust. I'm with you. I think they're dangerous. Are they just dangerous biologically, or are they going to be dangerous physically?
It could be the bugs.
They could also break your heart, Dr. Buckland.
Special venom that they couldn't diagnose.
You can also take care of this easily. And he puts his pulse rifle up against the glass.
It could be worms. It could be all sorts of things. We don't know what they've been digging around. Or
Do we have... Oh, we should look. What's the one piece of equipment that allows you to interact with someone who's in cryo?
Yeah, you probably have that on the ship somewhere.
Fantastic. Let's get that.
Yeah, it's a really expensive piece of equipment.
If they don't have it here, I'm sure we've got it up top.
You look around and you don't see it anywhere around here. It's the thing that in Prometheus, David was using to creep on Dr. Shaw. Oh boy, I just got a complication to be deployed as I please.
Yeah, I had it last time too.
All
Thank you very
right,
much,
so
Captain Cryan.
why don't we get this ship? Why don't we get this ship working? Get up top, sync up with our ship. We'll get that device, and then I can take a dive and see what the hell's going on with this disturbing looking person.
I'm not a pathologist.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the skin discoloration, the weirdness with the eyes, the huge pupils. This is something very deep inside of them that's wrong.
I agree, which is why we go in with that device and not let them out here with us in, meat space.
I don't think your EpiPen's gonna help in this situation, that's for sure.
We won't know until we try.
I'm not wasting your EpiPen.
Very well, Dr. Bones.
Like $9,000.
Really are.
So Hobart,
Yeah.
well, the two of
Expire
them.
super quickly.
Well, assuming they're arguing, do you pull the trigger as you put the gun against the? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna shoot it. It's just, I was throwing it out there.
Yeah. Okay. Rook, did you say you wanted to go look around, see if stuff was useful? Like, meaning like you could actually get the ship operational and such?
Yeah, that way we could take it up into space.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you have to get down to engineering. Are you going by yourself? You bring someone with you?
No, Jaws, you
For
won't.
Jaws.
I'll be in the room with Jaws while the other four are there. I'll be like, I'm gonna need someone to volunteer to come with me to check out the ship. Any volunteers?
Sure thing.
Thanks, Jaws.
Okay.
I just kind of smirk and I turn around and start walking.
Jaws is really pissed off that somebody just stole her vehicle. Like, that's like super insulting and bad.
Hey, as we're walking, hey, we're gonna get those bastards. That's for sure.
The security I put on there, like they've got to know what they're doing to get past that. I don't just, leave the door open for everybody to just walk in.
Well, what would you do if they were standing right here in front of you right now?
Well, I'd beat the shit out of them, of course. I mean, there's no question.
Okay. Well, that's what we'll do when we get there.
Well, then, let's get this shuttle airborne.
Okay. As you're walking down to engineering, you hear something. And it's the first real sound you've heard other than various bleeps of monitors and things. But you hear the sound of, like, creaking and then something slam, like metal on metal slam.
But you're on my pistol.
And I'll inform everyone else that there's a sound that we're investigating.
You're right near the kind of stairs going down a level, and you're right next to, like, crew quarters. And it came from one of those doors.
Hey, what's your location? Team Beta.
Down in cryo still.
All right, we're near personnel quarters.
We'll hold tight till you all get here.
Mm-hmm. You all need to come here quick.
Okay. Sergeant, that sounds like this is up your alley.
I do declare. Come on, Chet. Let's go take a look.
Yes, sir.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So while you're standing there waiting for them, you can continue to hear, like, this little creaking. And you're able to kind of localize which of the crew quarters it's coming from. And eventually everyone shows up. And you haven't opened the door yet until they get there. Do you open the door? Do you leave? What do we do? Or who opens the door, I should say.
All right, if you're alive in there and you want to stay alive, you better say something.
No response.
Down, continue.
Okay.
We're there?
Yeah, you're all there. Didn't take long.
All right. What's the situation?
We heard something fall over in one of these rooms over here with closed door. And I figure if they're all holed up in there, there's only 2 of us. Now there's 6 of us.
All right. I'll tell you what. Chet.
Mm-hmm.
In front.
All right.
Chet, how tall is Chet?
He's like 12, so he's like, what? Probably like, maybe he's 5 foot.
So you could stand in front of me. Like we could like double team.
Yeah.
You're in front of me and I'm right behind you.
You can use my
2
shoulder
guns.
as a mount.
Yeah. So we'll assume the position and Chet and me, and I'll in front of the door, ready to fire, and I'll look over at Jaws and say, oh, my Mark, open that door.
This is awesome, Sarge.
Mark.
So you hit the thing, it opens up, and you start spraying and firing, and all the innocent survivors are now dead. No, you open the door, and there's kind of a flickering light. You can see that there's 2 sets of bunk beds either side. It looks like one of the ceiling panels is kind of moving around a little bit, and that's causing the creaking. You notice that there is like graffiti here and there. You can see as you poke underneath, Chet, you look down, the same places you saw it before, and you can see that on the other side of the top bunks, there's been a couple of them, just strange patterns, and also in the ceiling as well. And as you're looking at one of the ceiling panels that are like 2 panels over from the one that had kind of falling, is like kind of swaying and squeaking, you notice that there is a bulge like weighing down the ceiling itself. It's like a good 3x3 tile, and it's just kind of, and it's metal, and it's just weighing down.
Who's touching the bulge?
It's on the ceiling. It's going to be a little too tall for Chet to touch this bulge.
I can get up on your shoulders.
Yeah, I could hold you up. I give you a boost. So it's just a bulge.
It's just drooping.
I don't know if this is a good idea. Might want to
Maybe-
rethink that.
Do we just have like a long pointy stick?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there something we can grab and just kind of like poke it with?
Sure. Yeah.
What's in the room that we could grab?
Sure. We'll say there's like a walking stick nearby or something that someone was using on an expedition. There we go. Yes, there's a 10-foot pole.
Pulse
Okay.
rifle in one hand, grab the
Go toward Jen.
stick, and I'll tell Chet to point to be ready.
Okay.
And I'll poke at
Okay.
the bulge.
So you grab the stick and you poke at the bulge with the stick. As you do, you sort of jam it nice and good. Eventually, you loosen up the panel, and the panel just explodes and falls down, and you can see draping down from the ceiling, all of a sudden these black roots just flail along the top bed, as if they're hanging down like these thick cables, these thick wires. But you can tell looking at them, they're the same roots that you saw in the Weyland-Yutani camp. As you're watching and just kind of looking, all of you can take a point of stress, by the way. You see amongst that, hanging amongst those kind of black roots, you see an arm just hanging down as well.
Well, if we never thought that it wasn't dangerous before, we know it's dangerous now.
Someone going to give it a poke? See if they're alive, maybe?
Okay.
So you poke at the arm, doesn't move. But Chet, as you're poking and as you're looking underneath, one of the other panels just drops down, and another, like a couple of them, one after the other, just start, 3 or 4 of them just rain down until all of you can see up inside the ceiling, like the ceiling vent, there's a body that is just kind of laying amongst the framing. And you can see exploded out from the chest are about a dozen thick arm and circumference roots that have just exploded out of the center. And you can see that there is this empty face tangled up amongst them, staring down at you all. And we'll go ahead and end there for tonight.
What?
We all take 18 more stress from
Yeah, I think
that.
you can go ahead and take a second point of stress, by the way, for the seeing the body.
Seems appropriate.
Okay. Let's get our questions up for advancement.
Do we roll whenever we take a stress?
Yeah, you always roll you always roll panic when you take the stress. None of you should be higher than 2, though. I don't think anyone's gonna have a real.
That puts me up to 3.
Okay, so yeah, Hobart drops his pulse rifle. It goes off.
Hey,
It shoots Rook in the ass. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you are trembling, Bones. All right. And then.
Do we clear our panic and stress when we slept last night, or when we were at the ship?
Yeah, you just reset your stress.
Oh yeah, I did that. Okay. Then I have something too.
Okay.
I have a nervous twitch, so everybody in short range increases by 1.
Oh boy. Maybe I shouldn't have ended. Go ahead and
This
everyone
is
take
how
stress as you
it
all start
goes.
panicking. Oh boy. And then I'm telling you
Take
that
1 and roll.
that gun that got dropped, and Rook doesn't think that, it was an accident. All right.
Ooh.
We'll handle the stress stuff, so don't roll again. But we'll start next session with a roll of stress, because like if you're making everyone else take a stress, then everybody else will take one. But we'll do that roll at the start of next session. Let's hit questions. Participate. That's 1 XP. Risk and sacrifice something to further your personal agenda. Did anybody make? You all have personal agendas now that are private, so you're gonna have to make. I'm gonna let you make that determination on your own. Did anybody risk your life for your buddy PC? Okay. Challenge or stand up to your rival PC?
I did.
Yeah, I thought you did. I thought that's what that was. Oh boy. Let's see. Make a panic roll. Everyone go ahead and take that. Overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means. I don't know if you were really in any dangerous events yet.
Maybe the bulge grabbing?
Oh yeah, Chet. Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, go ahead. You dodged away. Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's always
totally.
dangerous
Going
to
in
grab
the
a
net.
bulge. Especially, never mind. I'm not doing that.
We went in the middle of a swarm. That counts.
Let's
It's a
see.
smart idea.
Did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
We learned that there's an impact crater, and the expansion of the forest leads to the nutrient-rich soil.
Yeah, I feel like Bones learned a bunch of crap from going into the science lab. Yeah. Would anyone make the argument that they performed an extraordinary action of some kind? I don't think so. I don't think so. Earn any money? Nah. Okay. All right.
We lost a ship. Does that count for something?
And like I said, the ship became self-aware, and it, like Galen says, like, just nope the fuck out. It knew, and they're like, no, this is an alien movie. I'm out of here. See ya. Okay, let's do closing plugs. Jeremy, tell them about your podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's Matt here and our buddy Ken. We talk about comics, PLE, WD, Plutcast, Anchor, and the YouTubes. Why not?
Perfect. And Adam.
I'd like to promote Grim and Perilous Plays. It's Grim and Perilous Studios' Twitch channel, where we will be joining Pixel Prowler tomorrow to start up Vermintide 2.
Oh, nice.
That's what we're going to start playing on Tuesdays now.
Oh, that's awesome. Vermintide 2 is like Left 4 Dead, except in the Warhammer, and it's just the PvE stuff.
I've played one stage. I love it.
Yeah, it looks really fun. Jen.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Tomorrow night, Pixel Brother. Saturday, we will be playing on the Free League channel. Right, Chuck?
What are we doing? Yeah, we're doing that. Saturday?
Saturday,
Lands.
Forbidden Lands.
Yeah, Forbidden Lands on Saturday.
Yeah.
And hopefully you won't have a migraine, so I'll be playing too.
There we go.
Matt, what do you got going on this week?
Tomorrow you can find me doing a Deadlands one-shot on Garblight Games, and we'll be on Red Scar Gaming on Thursday doing some Savage Worlds, Devil's Run, and some Forbidden Lands on the Free League channel.
Perfect. And then Chuck, Defenders, what do they got going on this week?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, over on Defenders Wednesday, we're continuing our kind of Icewind Dale adventure. It was based on Rime of the Frostbane, but my opinions are clear on that adventure. But we're doing it in Weird Frontier. So get you some DCC, get you some Weird West all in one. Thursday, hanging out with Matt over on that one place, doing that one thing. And then Friday, we're going to be over on Defenders of Cobalt again for some more basic fantasy role-playing game. And as Jen mentioned, Saturday during the day, Forbidden Lands over in Free League Publishing. And then Saturday night, was it Jeff, Jeremy, and I were over on all the RPGs playing a game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Claustrophobia?
Claustrophobia.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we got for the week. And then Shadowrun, Sunday, Steam Steel Murder. Jeff and I.
Yeah. And, we're bad. We're bad at shadow running.
We are. We are.
And then as for us, Adventures of Lollygagging, this Friday, 8 Central, we're playing Delta Green again. We're continuing our Impossible Landscapes campaign. And then next Monday, over on the Free League Publishing channel, we are continuing our Things for the Flood game. And in 2 weeks, you can catch more Alien and find out what happens when they make their next stress rolls or panic rolls. And then they just start shooting. So that's it for us. Thank you for those of you who hung out. Thank you for those of us doing it bits. We're going to go ahead and raid Diesel Shot. We're playing some Dungeons & Dragons right now, it looks like. And we'll see you next time. So good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.